What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Flippin Bats. Things are wild. The stove is officially hot. Justin is signed with the Mets. Trea Turner is signed. Jacob deGrom. There's Aaron Judge news. And my day at the winter meetings was nuts. And I'm going to tell you all about it. This one's going to be fun. Let's get to it.
It's a blowout. 8th inning, 10-3. Bases are loaded for Verlander, who waits on a 3-0 pitch. He swings, and it's a high fly ball. Deep center field. It is gone. Home run. And a huge bat flip to celebrate. All right, Ben, start the show already.
Well, yesterday was certainly a wild, wild day. And Alex, let me explain it to you for a second.
Please.
I wake up and I think, you know what? I have never been to the winter meetings, and they are happening just a few short hours away. Just a quick 2-hour drive down to San Diego. So,
but you decided that morning, yesterday morning.
It was like two days prior because I had to get credentialed, and we ended up getting the credentials.
Okay.
Well, Alex has already ruined my stuff.
No, I didn't. Keep it going.
I wake up on a whim, decide to go down to San Diego, and I'm driving down, and I'm like, man, today's going to be a great day. I've never experienced the winter meetings. I'll be able to talk about it on the show on Tuesday, this show, and it'll be great. And about 30, 45 minutes into the drive, Justin calls, right? Then the news drops, and then all hell started breaking loose because I'm driving in the middle of traffic, like 70 miles an hour, 75, 80 a time. You never know.
You're making good time.
And it was literally the most chaotic time of all time because I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I need to record a video. Should I turn around and head back to studio? Should Alex and I get in studio? Should we record a podcast? Should I keep driving? What should I do? So I get on the phone with everybody and they're like, just record an audio only little quick emergency pod. So on my way down to the winter meetings, I pull over the first spot I see, which happens to be a rest stop at Camp Pendleton.
Yeah.
I pull over and I start recording this episode, and there's tanks just going by like 10 feet in front of me with machine guns and guys on top. And I'm like, oh my God, this is madness. But in the end, the chaos amounted to Justin signing with the New York Mets for 2 years, $86 million with an option for a third year, vested option, which means if he pitches a certain amount of innings, the option will kick in. But it was just madness how the day began.
And he couldn't give you a little bit more of a heads up? So not just like a 5-minute, hey, it's about to drop. Here we go. Get ready, brother.
So here's how we talked the night prior, right? So there was this Carlos Baerga report that came out that said sources are saying 2 years, and he pretty much got the numbers right on the nose, but it wasn't true at the time. I talked to Justin and I said, hey, is this true? And he goes, no, not yet. So then we're talking that next day, and he goes, hey, I was on the phone when it dropped. Like I don't know how it came out as fast as it did, but I was still like confirming things when it came out. And so he told me, and we talked for a while, and man, just the happiness on his face, which I'm sure is a bit of relief. Like, we're coming up on the holidays. I'm sure it's nice to just have it done and out of the way. You know where you're going. You're making $86 million. That would put a smile on my face.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I did. I asked him because I was literally getting ready to pull over to record the emergency podcast. And I was like, hey, like, why the Mets? Aside from obvious, you know, like it is a lot of money, but he could have gotten a lot of money many places. Why the Mets? And he goes, well, to be honest, the future of the Mets is in such a great position. The direction over the last couple of years that the Mets have been heading is something that I've noticed from afar, something that I took a liking to and wanted to be a part of. And the commitment to winning there, everybody within the organization, he's heard nothing but great things about the culture there, both on the field and in the locker room, and the people that they've brought in, the people that Steve Cohen and Billy have brought in to make this a winning environment. And it's no secret, right? They've been close for the last couple of years. And I've been the first one to say, stop saying it. The Mets aren't going to Met.
But they did.
They have been. And I've continued to to be wrong. And the people that say that same saying that's been saying for years, they end up finding a way to be right. The Mets won over 100 games last year, and they found a way to be right because they get swept by the Braves and then lose in the first round of the playoffs. So they've been right there, but close. And I think that's another part that Justin mentioned is I want to be the guy to come in and help this team win. And I want to be a leader on this team that's full. There are young guys. There are leaders already. I want to come in and be one of the leaders of this team and help the team win. And I think it's a perfect fit. I think once Jacob deGrom went out the door, they had the money and the big-time need. And they filled that void. You know, you lose a guy in Jacob deGrom, who's one of the best pitchers in the planet, and you add a guy that's a 2-time champion coming off a Cy Young year. The last 2 years he's pitched, he's won the Cy Young Award. So that's the kind of guy you're adding in New York, and I think he's proven age is just a number, and there's not a lot of guys that can prove that. Nolan Ryan, Justin, and what Tom Brady's doing in the NFL side of things, I think they're all in the same sort of conversation.
Now, the Mets were first in the NL East for majority of the season until the very end. But now, obviously, adding your brother as a piece, does this make them, once again, the favorite in the NL East?
This is tough because I think when you look at the National League as a whole, I think there's pretty clearly teams that are favorites. Dodgers, Braves, Mets. And I would say right now, as the team sits, right? And they're not done. The Mets aren't done. I would say right now, you can't say the Mets are the favorite because you lose a guy like Jacob deGrom and you add a guy like Justin. Does that immediately make you better than the team that has won the division the last few years? No, I think they're pretty much neck and neck right now in teams. I wouldn't say they're the overwhelming favorite, but I don't believe they're done. And I believe by opening day, I could be saying, the Mets are the team to win the NL East. But right now, I still think there are holes on the Mets team. I think there are holes at the bottom end of the lineup. I think there's a clear need in the bullpen. You have Edwin Diaz, the best closer in baseball. You have two of the best starters in baseball. I think they could afford to add a starter. But there is a big need from how do we get to Edwin Diaz? And I think that's going to be really important. And come opening day, depending on what they do, I could be saying, yes, the Mets are the favorite.
Now, we know that they're not afraid to dish out the money and pay the money. They have an owner that can do it. I mean, just between your brother, Justin Verlander, and Max Scherzer, the Mets are paying them $86 million in 2023. Just two players. Now, when you compare that to the Braves, they're paying 7 players $74 million in 2023. So when you look at the scale and you say, yes, they could afford to add another starter. Yes, they need the bullpen to get you to Edwin Diaz after a couple of those big name starters. Are they going to be able? I mean, yes, you can. You're just going to have to pay a luxury tax. But are they just going to keep dishing out the money?
Well, you're talking about is Steve Cohen, who does not care about a luxury tax. He's got all the money in the world and a winning mindset. Which there's a big difference there. There are plenty of owners with a lot of money, none with the amount of money that Steve Cohen has, but also not a lot of owners with the winning mindset that Steve Cohen has. Steve Cohen has come into the Mets and said, I want to win a championship with the team that I own. And there's plenty of other owners that say, I want to make money in this business venture that I am a part of as owning this organization. I want to make the money, and that's how they go about their business. Steve Cohen's just like, I got a lot of money. I love baseball. I'd love to own a team, and I'd love to win with that team. And I think you're seeing that with him in the way he's going about things. He's just throwing money and hoping guys come play for his team. And they are.
Do you know what it feels like? It kind of feels like the Yankees of old. It's still a New York team, and it's like, we want a guy. We got the money. We're just going to throw it out there, and we think you should come here, and now it's happening.
Yeah.
Which is interesting transition between the two New York teams.
Absolutely. And once they lost that money, right? Once they lost deGrom. And deGrom goes to the Rangers. You have all this money that they were planning on giving to deGrom, and it becomes, what do you do with that? How do you go about spending it? And they filled the void immediately of Jacob deGrom, and you start to ask the question, I think, of, well, is that the right move? Let's compare Jacob deGrom, and we can talk about him in a little bit. If you're the Mets and Jacob deGrom is getting 5 years, $185 million, or Justin for 2 for sure and 86. I know I am biased, but 5 years to a guy like Jacob deGrom, who, yes, when on the mound is the most dominant pitcher. But when he's on the mound.
Healthy.
And I can sit here right now and say, I hope for the next 5 years, and this is a genuine hope.
Yeah.
I hope for the next 5 years, Jacob deGrom takes the mound every 5th or 6th day and dominates. But is that likely? I don't know. He's also 35. He's older as well. So you're giving him 5 years, $185 million over a guy like Justin, 2 years, who's coming off of back-to-back years with him pitching, winning a Cy Young Award. If I'm Mets fans, you're never happy that your guy, Jacob deGrom, is out the door, but I wouldn't want to give him 5 for 185. That is preposterous, I think.
deGrom got a very sweet deal.
And good for him.
Very sweet. And we've talked about this a lot. Get your money.
Yeah.
If you are an athlete, you have a very limited timetable to make a good amount of money.
Yeah.
And he said he's 35. This is 5 years until he's 40. I don't know if anyone thought he was going to get that many years and that much money.
I don't think.
But he did. So you take the money and run at this point.
And good for him.
Yeah.
As he should. I totally understand it, and I get it, and we can talk more about him in a minute, but we'll stick in the NL East.
Okay.
Trea Turner.
You called it.
You know what?
You called it.
Well, you're right. I did call it. I've been calling it for a long time. But really, we couldn't even give Justin like 30 minutes to an hour to be the biggest deal and the biggest news before I even get down to San Diego. The next biggest news, Trea Turner to the Phillies, 11 years, $300 million. $300 million. And I have been calling this for a long time. Alex can attest to it. And I tried to go back and find the video. I called it before the season ended, before the regular season ended. I was talking about this, just saying, I don't believe Trea Turner's on the Dodgers next year. I believe he's on the Phillies, and here's why. And I tried to go back and find the video of me saying that, because I tweeted something like, I called it, and people put that LeBron meme out of LeBron like saying how he always says, like, and I said a long time ago that I said before he was born that Trea Turner was going to sign with the Phillies for 11 years and $300 million. So I tried to go back and find it, but I couldn't. But you can attest to it.
Yeah.
It was just the perfect fit, Alex.
Yeah.
He wanted to be back on the East Coast. That was clear with another offer that came in that we'll dive more into in a second. But he wanted to be back on the East Coast. He's now reunited with Bryce Harper until at least 2031. $300 million, and the Phillies, who had a hole in the middle infield, fill that hole in the best possible way, I think.
They do. We talked about the Phillies, I think, the last couple of weeks, because they have a lot of holes to fill. They were losing 10 arms. Obviously, Bryce Harper getting Tommy John, not coming back till May to June, July is the window. They needed a big name, but they have over $1 billion committed to 6 players. The Phillies do. Let me just run down this for you. Real Muto, $115 million. Turner, $300 million. Castellanos, $100 million. Schwarber, $79 million, who just said he's going to play for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Huge. Yeah, we got Harper, $330 million. And Wheeler, $118 million. So they have over $1 billion committed to 6 players. So you have to ask the question, are the Phillies now World Series or bust? With that much money.
With that much money, you have to be.
You have to be,
But
right?
I'm not sitting here right now saying the Phillies are the favorites to win the World Series.
You're dishing out that kind of money.
But you're dishing out that kind of money. But am I taking right now the Phillies over the Dodgers, Braves, and Mets in the National League? No, I think they're in that conversation now. I think they're getting to that point. But you don't, you know, for the past 5, 6, 7 years, you've said in the American League, the American League runs through the Astros. Yeah. And for paying 6 players over $1 billion, you want to be saying the National League runs through the Phillies. And I'm not saying so. Crazy. It is crazy. And he didn't even take the biggest offer available. We're talking about.
That's how you know he wanted to be
11 years, $300 million. And you think, oh my God, he's 30 years old. He's a shortstop and he's signing an 11-year deal for $300 million. And the reason one of the reasons, Alex, that I did predict this a long time ago is because I said, I think he wants to be back on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I think he wants to get out of the West Coast, out of the LA lifestyle, and go to the East Coast. And that was pretty much proven correct with the offer that he received from the Padres was $342 million. John Heyman tweeted this out. That the Padres offer was $342.
Turning down $42 million
is
a big deal.
Yeah, it is less because of the tax situation. But he also, I think it was him or somebody else clarified, the Padres offer was more than enough to cover the loss of taxes.
Yeah.
He would have been making a good chunk more. So that offer, not only did he turn down $42 million less, it was also the offer that would have made him the highest paid shortstop in the game of baseball, and he didn't do it.
But then that's where also the mindset comes in, where, again, this is an athlete's choice. Are you going to take the money and run? Or do you want to be in a place where you truly believe that you can succeed and you can win? And we've seen this across a lot of different sports. Tom Brady took less money to stay with the Patriots forever. And then you see someone like Aaron Rodgers, who took a ton of money and then they couldn't sign and had to get rid of a lot of people. You see it across every sport. And here, again, $300 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So
I want to be in a place where I can take $300 million and it be you know what? I'm not going to take the money.
Yeah.
I'm going to settle.
But settling is $300 million.
$300 million. So
Crazy.
Trea Turner is now a Philadelphia Philly. And I will say this. I believe as of right now that the Philadelphia Phillies have the best lineup in the game of baseball.
Ooh.
And you better.
Okay.
For over $1 billion one of those is a pitcher, but
still.
I mean, come on. But you look at that lineup. Oh my God! I looked at a projection, and it has like Castellanos batting 6 or 7. Alec Boehm is like 7 or 8. I'm like, this is preposterous what they're running out there. So as of last year, I was saying the Dodgers lineup is perhaps the best lineup we have ever seen, and immediately Trea Turner goes from that lineup to the Phillies that I'm now saying is the best lineup in baseball. Obviously, Dodgers are losing some guys and need to do a lot.
Yep.
But the Phillies right now have the best lineup in baseball, in my opinion. What do you think about that?
Right now, yes. But again, there is still so many moving pieces.
Yep.
We got to see who the Dodgers pick up. What shortstop are they going to fill that void with? Who else are they going to pick up? You can never... it's tough because the Dodgers have been one of the greatest regular season teams we've seen in a really long time. So they are going to figure it out. They're going to get there. But this is exciting.
At what point... I feel like Dodgers fans don't like me. So I'm going to make a statement that I feel people are going to be like, oh, it's because he hates the Dodgers. No. You're a Dodgers fan.
Yep.
At what point do we start talking about how big of a failure the Dodgers have been
in the postseason?
The past decade. You've won one in the bubble.
You can't say how big of a failure because they have a World Series. Not many other teams can say that in a quote failure, but yeah, they've been the best team record-wise. Had one of the best records over the past decade, but just can't seem to figure it out in the postseason.
Interesting.
It's tough. Yeah. Once we see the pieces they fill, we'll dive deeper into that conversation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just think to this point right now, I would say over the last decade, the Dodgers have been a failure. They got one in the shortened season, and they should have probably had 3 or 4.
Oh, definitely.
But different conversation. We'll have it at some point later. Yesterday, winter meetings. I need to talk about it because it was my first experience.
Okay, yeah. So tell me, because what I imagine, it's like everyone and anyone in baseball just walking around, just right there for the taking to talk to.
So that's pretty. Yeah. It is everybody in baseball just walking around, just goofing around, like, who should I talk to next? It's like, so I learned a lot about the winter meetings yesterday. I've never experienced it. I drove down simply because I wanted to be able to share my experience right here on Flippin Bats. So I drive down. Obviously, all hell broke loose on my drive down, but I get there, I pull up. It's at this hotel, the Hyatt in San Diego, and there's a big billboard on the side, winter meeting, baseball, Major League Baseball winter meetings here. So I walk in, and there's a lobby with tons of people just standing there talking, a bunch of baseball people. I recognized a bunch of people immediately. And then I was like, okay, I'm credentialed for this. I need to go get my credential. So I went to get it. And then I ran into somebody that I know and was like, so what is this?
Yeah. Are there specific meetings happening?
Yeah,
Am I allowed to walk to a certain place? You just walk up to someone and start talking to them? Is that okay?
That's exactly right. And they go, well, you'll just kind of figure it out.
Oh, okay.
There are things happening. So I eventually found a board that said there was manager availability. So Dusty Baker was going to be talking at a certain time, and Scott Service was there, and there, most all managers were there. So there's managers coming in and talking, and there's GMs, and then Fred McGriff's Hall of Fame, he flew in. I'm wearing Fred McGriff's shirt, the crime dog.
Yeah.
He was there. So there was a board of that, and then there's a tons and tons and tons of meetings going on upstairs. Okay, so it's on other floors.
Okay.
All of the agents and the GMs are upstairs just having meetings in their own rooms. And then all of a sudden it'll be meetings will be at 1, 2, 3, and 4. So at 1:45, you'll see groups of guys with briefcases all walking through the lobby together to get to their next meeting. So you don't see them a ton. You just know they're upstairs meeting. But what I learned is, and I'm eventually going to get into my 3 main takeaways.
Okay.
Right. But what I learned is that the winter meetings used to be, they've been around forever.
Yeah.
Right. And it used to be, there were no phones. There was no easy way of communication. So all of the GMs would get together in one place, and they'd get together at the bar at night, and they'd write down on a piece of paper, 11 years, $300 million, Trea Turner. Think about that one tomorrow. And then they come back together and say deal or no deal. Next thing you know, Trea Turner would be on the Phillies for 11 years, $300 million. So as time has evolved and we've gotten phones and I could text you if I wanted to or call you, they've still just done it for baseball. And it's a who's who of everybody there. And everybody is just
schmoozing
there.
Event.
And you can't walk through the lobby without having 5 conversations that last half an hour. And it ends up being a lot of fun. It's just it's a big old network.
Yeah.
But that's what I learned. But I did walk away with 3 takeaways from the Major League Baseball winter meetings. Number 3, I'll go 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Number 3 being, it's just a big old networking event. It is. Everybody who's anybody in the baseball world, from the big time agents, Scott Boras is there holding court, to the general managers. All the general managers are there, and they're all having these conversations, and everybody in media is there, and they're all in the lobby trying to hear things and trying to pick up things and just talking. And there's young kids there trying to get into the media space, passing out their business cards, wanting to talk and network, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it's just a who's who, and I ended up talking to a bunch of people, and there's manager availability, so I talked to Dusty Baker.
I saw the quotes he gave you, which is really funny.
It was great. Some of the quote, Dusty Baker is brilliant, and some of the quotes he gave, they asked him, Dusty, how does it feel? You finally win your first World Series as a manager after so long. It took so long. And he just goes, to be honest, I'm just glad you guys will shut up and stop talking about it. And everybody laughed, and he goes, I'm serious. I'm just glad you guys will stop asking me about it. And they asked him what his new thoughts on the rule changes. There's big rule changes coming to Major League Baseball. Dusty, what are your thoughts on it? He goes, honestly, I'm not thinking about them at all. Thinking about fly fishing and hunting.
Good.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Good.
And the manager availability was really cool. You're right on top of those guys talking to them. So basically, what are the winter meetings? Just a big place where everybody in baseball is, and everybody's networking and talking to each other. That was my first takeaway.
Besides Dusty, who was the coolest, or for you, really awesome that you got to talk to?
Fred McGriff.
Oh, you got to talk to him.
Oh my God,
that's rad.
It was great. But we'll talk about him in a little while as well. But speaking of the Braves, that leads to my number 2 takeaway in the winter meetings. I no longer believe that Dansby Swanson is going back to Atlanta.
No. What changed?
A lot of conversations that had in the scrum of networking down there.
Okay, with media members, with GMs, with
media.
Okay.
Just multiple different conversations that I had from people that do know, they're in the know things, and they don't obviously know where he's going.
But word on the street is
people believe he's not going back.
Okay.
And I heard that once. I heard that twice. I hear it a few times, and I'm like, you know what? I no longer believe he's going to go.
Because he's not happy there? Or
no, I don't
Atlanta's
think
not going to give him what he wants?
I think this is Freddie Freeman 2.0.
No.
Yeah, I think he's an Atlanta guy. I just think there are situations where I don't know maybe the Braves are all in on Grissom and making him their shortstop. Maybe they don't want to pay Dansby all that he's going to get paid elsewhere. And then there are people that believe, look, Dansby, and guess who he's in a relationship with? Mallory Pugh. Guess where she plays soccer? Like, there's like so many connections.
I forgot about that.
So many connections to the Chicago area, and there's so many connections to other places he could sign. And it's like, you know what? I sat here a couple weeks ago and predicted Dansby back to Atlanta.
So now where are you predicting him to go?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Look, and I'm not saying Dansby's not going to Atlanta. Let's get that out there. I just was like dead set on.
You're not dead set on
Dansby's going back to Atlanta. I'm no longer dead set on it.
Okay.
If I had to predict, if it's not Atlanta,
I
don't know. Chicago, the Cubs. I don't know.
Because it's where Mallory plays.
No, that's just no. It's just like a connection.
Okay.
But look, it's just a guess. But I want it to be Atlanta.
Yeah.
I hope it's Atlanta because 1, I predicted it, but 2, I just think like, how do you let it happen twice? Like your guy.
That's what Atlanta does too, is they develop players, which is why they're paying, like I said earlier, a fraction of the price, 7 players, $74 million next season, opposed to the Mets playing 2 players, $86 million next year.
Yeah.
But this is the time where now you have to pay the guy, and this is not their game. This is not their style. This is not what they do.
It's just like
they develop
I feel like
young
they've
guys.
gotten to a place where they don't need it to be that. Like, look what Michael Harris II has come up and been in the outfield, and look what Grissom, when he came up and played the infield for the Braves, he was great. So, are you going to give him the shot if you don't re-sign Dansby? And this isn't on the scale of Carlos Correa with the Dodgers, but you have your shortstop. Are you going to let him walk? Is not every rookie is Jeremy Pena.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? I don't know. I hope he resigns with the Braves. That was my prediction, and I won't say that that's not going to happen yet. I'm not going to change my prediction. I am no longer confident in it. So if not the Braves, I would say maybe the Cubs. I don't know.
Okay, so because we're on the free agent watch shortstop conversation here, and the Dodgers just lost their shortstop, do you still think it's Carlos Correa as a front runner?
I think I still am sticking.
Did you hear any whispers about that at the winter meetings?
No, I was just whispering it, and nobody was shooting me down.
Listen to me, it's gonna be Correa.
Hey, I'm hearing.
Hey, by the way,
what are you hearing about
they're like
Correa and the Dodgers? And nobody's like, no, that ain't happening.
Yeah, Ben, where are you hearing it? Oh, just in my head.
Just
up
Alex,
in my head.
And then my prediction. But this is why I made it my prediction after you made it yours.
Yeah.
Because that next episode I came out with all of my predictions, and I had Carlos going to the Dodgers, and I said I think Trea Turner's going to the Phillies.
Yep.
I thought Dansby and Xander are both going to re-sign, and you can't tell me that that the Dodgers aren't going to end up filling that huge void with one of the 4 massive free agent shortstops.
They have to.
So I just felt like Carlos is going to fall into their lap, and I still feel like Carlos Correa is going to fall into their lap. That's my thought.
I mean, I think it.
That was my roundabout second takeaway from the winter meetings, is that I'm no longer dead set on Dansby staying in Atlanta, just from talking to a bunch of people, which you end up doing there. Which also leads to my number one takeaway, which involves the number one free agent on the market, Aaron Judge.
Give it to us.
I thought Aaron Judge to the Yankees was probably the likely, like, okay, the Giants are like becoming good suitors, but he's going to end up with the Yankees. I now believe it is truly as 50-50 as it gets.
Whoa.
And it's as 50-50. Like, this situation is on the table right in front of Judge, right? The Yankees are in the ballpark they're going to be. The Giants, as we see today and over the last couple, the Giants are in the ballpark they're going to be, which is the high money offer. So you have the high money offer to go play for your hometown team, or the lower money offer, the steal, the $300 million range, to stay with the Yankees and to be that guy for the New York Yankees. And that offer's right in front of him. And there is no wrong answer. I just always thought the money was going to be a little closer and that the Yankees were the clear front runner. I just, again, from talking to different people down there, it is truly about as 50-50 as it can get.
What's the money difference between Giants and Yankees? Is it a big difference?
The Yankees came in around 300, 310 earlier in the week.
Okay.
That came out, right? It came out that was their offer, which isn't great that came out, because if it was a great offer, he would have accepted it.
Yep.
Right? But now it comes out, like today or late last night, I forget, that the Giants are in with the biggest offer to Judge, believed to be $360 million neighborhood. And John Heyman goes on to add, noted Yankee fan, John Heyman. But the assumption belief amongst rivals is that the Yankees remain favorites. Yankees are hopeful, but say that they still do not know. So the Giants are in the $360 million neighborhood, and the Yankees are not.
That's a really big difference. And another big shocker, I think that made me the most surprised, is that the Yankees just re-signed Brian Cashman to a 4-year contract, meaning you are signing your SVP and GM before you are signing the number one free agent on the market, your franchise guy that you haven't locked in yet. So as a Yankee fan, you got to be thinking, well, if they're signing him, it better mean that you have Aaron Judge in the bag, and that's why you're keeping him, because he's already had an idea that this deal is getting done and it's happening. But no, now you're telling us it is a full 50-50 feeling with both. They're not getting close to the Giants on the money deal. I was a little shook with that information when that came out.
I just don't understand the way the Yankees are doing things lately. What are you doing?
Right?
Announcing that before the Aaron Judge decision.
Right?
Imagine if Aaron Judge doesn't re-sign, and the biggest offseason signing to date for the Yankees has been Brian Cashman. What are you doing? Wait. Just wait.
Yeah.
And then you sign Aaron Judge. 2 days later, announce we are re-signing Brian Cashman to a new deal, and everybody's going to be like, yeah, Brian Cashman, great job with Aaron Judge.
Because he got Judge.
Right. But now we have no idea what's going to happen with Judge, and you're announcing it as if you're parading it that you've re-signed a guy that everybody's like, we don't care.
No.
Re-sign Aaron Judge.
That's all we care about.
They don't care about Brian Cashman, especially with Aaron Judge just sitting out there. I was mind blown at the timing of that. How did that? I don't know. What are you doing? Like I've said a million times, you're the Yankees. You have the money. Go sign your guy.
Yeah.
Do not let the Giants come in and be the high money offer for your guy and take him away. Make him your guy. Give him the money that he deserves. He went out, he bet on himself, he hit 62 home runs, won the American League home run crown and the American League all-time home run record, and deserves every penny that he is about to get. Pay him.
Yeah.
Pay him.
Immediately.
Don't parade around a Brian Cashman announcement like it's this big deal. Nobody cares. Go sign Aaron Judge. Period.
You know what he's doing right now? having a great time. We have video of him at the Bucks game.
Yeah,
talking with Brady yesterday. Just a little bit of goat on goat action there. Having a great time. That's what you got to do, though.
This is what baseball needs. Just more superstars on the sidelines at other sporting events and parading around in other players' jerseys and getting dapped up by
here it
Tom
is.
Brady. Here's the video right here. Aaron Judge and Tom Brady talking. Tom Brady told him you could hear. Tom Brady said you could play tight end for us.
Yeah.
You absolutely could. Love that. And he's in the spotlight. And he's just making himself more and more of the superstar that he is. And more money is coming his way. And it doesn't hurt what he was just named today. Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year.
Which is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
We're in a World Cup right now. You have football going on, and he was the Athlete of the Year.
He was
baseball
named
player.
Time Athlete of the Year. Baseball player. It is big. And everything. Exactly. He's a big deal. He's in an MVP, coming off of an MVP season. And Alex, I read the article.
Okay.
From Time, and it was interesting to say the least.
Okay.
It was great. And I'm a big fan of Aaron Judge. And there were some quotes in here that I just thought were of note.
Share 'em.
And one of them is he said, I was a little upset that numbers came out. I understand it's a negotiation tactic, put pressure on me, turn the fans against me, turn the media on me. That part I didn't like. And I think he was talking about when the numbers came out, I believe.
The beginning of the season?
The beginning of the season.
That he turned down.
But still, guess what? Numbers just came out again
of
what they offered him. And it's like, it's a tactic. And he knows, like, hey, they're trying to turn people against me because he knows the narrative has and always will be, oh, what a greedy baseball player turning down $300 million. All they go after is I can't stand it. It makes my blood boil. He deserves every penny he is going to get.
He does.
But he understands the narrative that it will turn the fans against him. Oh, his team is offering him $216 million at the time before the season, and he's turning it down. Wow, how dare he? A greedy baseball player. So he knows that, and he says, well, that they were trying to turn the fans against me. It's a tactic. Another quote in there. This one came from a memory his wife, Samantha, had back in high school.
Okay.
She remembers Aaron Judge saying, in 10 years, I'll be married to Sam, and I'll be playing for the San Francisco Giants. And that's a quote.
I just got chills.
In the article. And guess what? He's now married to Sam. And that,
Wait, you also found a really interesting comparison with Barry Bonds today.
I did.
Pull up that.
There's just a lot of things that are interesting.
Read it.
Today is the 30-year anniversary of this situation. Okay, in 1992, Barry Bonds wins the MVP award, loses in the LCS, batted .311 on the year, and signed with his hometown Giants team on December 6th.
I have chills.
2022, 30 years later, to the day right now, Aaron Judge wins the MVP award, loses in the championship series, batted .311 on the year, and signs with TBD.
Yeah.
Could it be his hometown Giants? I don't know. I'm loving this. I'm loving every second of it. And what I want is for Aaron Judge to go get paid because, man, does he deserve it. But a big takeaway for me, Aaron Judge truly seems 50-50 right now. Where is he going to go? But Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, huge deal. Big deal for baseball. I think.
Really big deal for
baseball.
Great thing for
baseball. I saw something today, and we don't have the graphic to put up because I told nobody about this, and I'm just now
remembering
that I saw it. But something came out from the brands that grew the most in 2022.
Okay.
Right? I think that's what it was. Brands that grew the most. And Major League Baseball was on the list. And it was the only sports organization, like the NFL, Major League Baseball grew. So I have been saying it for a while. Not this part. Baseball is America's pastime, right? But it desperately needed change, growth, how they marketed players, how
Young
they did
players,
things.
Exciting players.
Right. And I think this is a good sign.
Yeah.
It is. Let me
That's a
try and
huge sign.
find exactly what it was, because the list is very, very interesting. But a sign of good times for baseball. Major League Baseball is the number 15 fastest growing brand of 2022. No other sporting. The other ones are like Frito-Lay and T-Mobile and Adobe.
But for baseball, it's about damn time. It needed to happen. We've been talking about it for 5-10 years. Baseball needed to grab the younger generation. They needed the exciting young players. They need flipping bats. They need bat flips. They need everything. And they're getting it.
Aaron Judge and what he's doing. Being on the sidelines with the GOAT, Tom Brady, getting all this publicity, being Time Magazine Athlete of the Year.
You just got to put yourself out there.
So, in conclusion,
the
winter meetings are just wild. It is just weird. It's crazy.
I love that you just went up and went.
I just went. And it's almost like you have to be there.
I'm having a little FOMO about it.
You have to be there because everybody's there. But what's happening? I don't really know.
Yeah. Apparently we have some other news from the winter meetings. We had Ben Verlander, Mets scout.
Oh my God.
Is that a thing? Are you a Mets scout now? Is there something you need to tell us?
Alex.
Yeah.
This was the conclusion of my winter meeting.
Okay.
I don't know did you see this tweet?
No, just tell us. Tell us about it. Oh.
Here it is. From an account with the handle Too Good in 17. Okay. This is great.
Yeah.
Per source, during the Mets negotiations with Justin Verlander, Justin's younger brother, Ben, reached out to Mets owner Steve Cohen. Ben asked for a job as talent scout as part of a Verlander package deal. Cohen did not respond, and Justin apologized for his brother's behavior.
Did it actually happen?
What do you mean, did it actually happen? No, it didn't actually happen.
I have to ask.
And so many
Weirder things have happened.
People were believing. I mean, it's a parody account.
Yeah.
For one.
That's great.
But it's it's great. But people actually believed it, which I guess is the point of creating parody accounts. But what do you mean, did it happen? I'm not a talent scout. I'm not calling Steve Cohen. Man.
Keep that contact close if you are.
What a wild day. Keep the contact close is right. What a wild day. But no, that didn't happen. It did not happen. Breaking news.
What?
Breaking news.
Okay.
Josh Bell to the Guardians, 2 years, $33 million. Is that correct?
Okay.
2 years, $33 million.
Okay.
Josh Bell to the Guardians. Great pickup for them.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Obviously, we talked about it a ton. They made the playoffs as the youngest team in baseball. This helps them add a big bat, which they desperately need. They have the pitching, but they need some bigger bats to pair with Jose Ramirez and some of the younger studs that they do have in that lineup.
Which is crazy, being a veteran at 30 on that team.
Right.
He's going to be one of the vets.
The winter meetings, man.
Yeah.
Things get done. Josh Bell to the Guardians, happening here live. But something that didn't happen at the winter meetings, Alex, this happened prior.
Yeah.
But it was a massive deal.
Big news.
Jacob deGrom to the Texas Rangers, 5 years, $185 million. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, but let's really dive into it here because this deal is mind-blowing to me.
It's mind-blowing, and the first thing that comes to my mind, can he stay healthy for those 5 years? And can the Rangers actually build around him to make a winning team with that kind of deal on the table?
So my thoughts here are that, look, my thoughts are this. Jacob deGrom, great deal.
Yeah.
Good for you. He said he
him.
wanted to re-sign with the Mets, and the only thing that would take him away is an offer that blew him out of the water.
There you go.
5 years at 35 years old for $185 million. Brilliant. Great for him. Good work. For the Texas Rangers, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You paid $500 million to your middle infield, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. And then you hear, okay, well, now they need pitching. And you go and get one pitcher, win on the mound, the most dominant pitcher in baseball probably, but he hasn't pitched much in the past couple of years. He does have injury problems. There are big injury concerns there. I just don't understand what you're doing because we've seen it in baseball. It's not a superstar driven like, oh, we'll add this guy. Next thing you know, you have a big three like LeBron going to Miami with Bosch and D Wade. It's not going to work. The Rangers aren't going to win the AL West. Guess what? There's another team in the AL West that has tried this exact same philosophy. The Angels. Trout, Ohtani, Rendon, Pujols. Like they try and give, oh, this guy's a big deal. And this is let's throw all of our money at him, put him on the books for a bunch of years, and we'll be good. Guess what? You're not. There's injury concerns that can creep in. And guess I don't look outside of deGrom, Seager, and Simeon and say, oh man. They look at all the complementary pieces. This team is going to fight with the Astros and the Mariners in the AL West. No. So I don't understand it. I would rather, just me being me, I would rather sign 5 different pitchers than sign one pitcher in deGrom to 5 years, $185 million. 5 good pitchers and complete a rotation.
Yeah.
I
mean, that would be the smart thing to do. But big names and flashy names are really appealing to teams sometimes.
Yes.
And like we both just said, good for deGrom. Go get your money. No, this is the one time in your life that someone's going to throw that kind of money at you.
And you know what is interesting here is, as a fan, all you can ask is for an ownership that wants to win.
Yep.
And will bring in stars. And it's happening. And you know what? They might not win the AL West. They might not get to the playoffs. But they're going to have one of the most dominant pitchers that has ever pitched in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
And they're going to have 2 superstars in their lineup.
Yep.
And they're going to put fans in the stands to come watch them play.
Hopefully.
And they're going to sell jerseys. And they're going to have merchandise. They're going to have Jacob deGrom bobblehead nights.
Oh, he's going to be all the merch.
Right.
All the giveaway merch.
Right. And there's a path to say, like, hey, good for you guys.
Yeah.
I don't think it puts a winning product out on the field. And if your goal is to win the World Series, I don't believe with the roster that there is, adding deGrom for 5 years and $185 million is the answer for the Rangers to win the World Series. The answer for me would be take that $185 million and give it to Carlos Rodon and Quintana and Contreras as a catcher and Taillon and all these other pieces that you could add, and Josh Bell.
Build a complete package.
And build a package, because you don't have that package.
No.
You have a core of 3 guys. What are you going to do around it? Probably nothing much more, because you don't have a ton of more money to spend.
Oh, that's what they are now.
That's what they are now.
All right.
Good, great for deGrom. Go get your money. Go get your money.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Go straight to the bank. All right.
You know what time it is? I've been on a roll. Name that free agent, where Alex is going to give me the 3 most recent teams that a free agent has played on, and I will try and guess. We will all try and guess who it was. So she will go the 3rd most recent, the 2nd most recent, and then the most recent team, and let's all try and collectively get the answer correct.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm that great.
To get it started?
Yes.
First step. Started in Arizona, then Seattle, and then Philly.
Arizona.
Name that free agent.
To Philly.
And go.
Arizona, Seattle, Philly. Is this Gene Segura?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Woo.
I thought you would get this one, like right off the bat.
You thought I would get that one right off the bat?
Yeah.
I got producer Taylor in my ear like, good luck. You're never getting this one right. He's trying his best to make me. I'm just really good at this game.
You are. You're really
Turns
up
out.
on your free agents.
All right.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
For our next one?
1 for 1.
Okay. Here we go. This free agent, number 4, was in Miami, Seattle, and Washington. Name that free agent.
Miami, Seattle, Washington. Miami, Seattle, Washington. Miami's throwing me off. I want to say, like, Nelson Cruz, but I know that's not right. It's not Nelson Cruz because he wasn't there. Man.
Throw it out
This
there.
one, I'm stumped.
Anything?
I got nothing. What is it?
D. Gordon.
D. Gordon?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no chance.
That's
I
okay.
had no chance.
All right. He's been around.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. 1 for 2.
Yeah. 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
Ready to move it on?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's move on to free agent number 3. Was in Texas,
okay.
and then Oakland, and then the White Sox. Name that free agent.
Texas, Oakland, then the White Sox. Okay. Texas, Oakland, White Sox. So I know Oakland to White Sox, but I'm not sure if he's a free agent. Is Liam Hendricks a free agent? No.
I didn't hear you said. You got to give me a take. You don't get any guesses. You got 5 seconds. Throw something out there.
I don't know if he's Liam Hendricks.
Elvis Andrews.
Elvis Andrews. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is really testing me today.
I know.
This is great.
Okay.
But I've noted producer Taylor stopped coming in my ear because he doesn't. He's like, well, who knows?
Yeah.
Ben might get this one right.
Good luck to you. Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Let's go to our next free agent. Was in Cleveland, Cincinnati, and New York Mets.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, New York Mets. Oh man.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, New York Mets. Okay, so let's see here.
Okay.
I know Mets free agents. I know Brandon Nimmo is a free agent. I don't know about Reds and Guardians. This is maybe some pitchers.
Throw something out.
I'll throw out Brandon Nimmo. I think it's wrong.
Tyler Naquin.
Tyler Naquin. No, I should have known that.
Yeah.
I should have known that.
It's okay.
Because he
okay.
came.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. You got one more.
This isn't going to get easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
You ready?
We had to find the line in America.
We're finding it. We're finding it.
Okay.
You ready for the last one?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Chicago Cubs.
Cubs.
LA Angels.
Tampa
Name
Bay.
that free
The
agent.
Cubs to the Angels. Tampa to the Cubs to the Angels. Okay.
Okay.
Angels, Cubs, and I have a free agent. I don't know if he was most recently on the Angels. Angels, Cubs. I know Quintana's played for both. I don't know about if he's played in Tampa though, but he's played so many places. My guess here, I'm gonna go Jose Quintana. Dang it!
No, it's Matt Duffy.
Oh my God, Matt Duffy! Oh my God, we went for it today.
We did,
and I did.
It's okay.
This is the line. I've been really good at this. Was that the last one?
Today was a fail. Yeah. That was the last one.
That was tough.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a
Good.
challenge. I would love to. I would love to hear how many people got these right. The TikTok crew that we post this all the time on TikTok.
Loving it.
They're all gonna lie and say, I got this in 2.5 seconds, Ben. You're so dumb. I'm not believing it this time. People, this is tough. This is good. This is good.
Not bad. Grade. You gotta grade yourself.
You know what? That was great. I don't think any of those players are in line to make it to the Hall of Fame. But you know who is officially in the Hall of Fame?
Are you not gonna grade yourself? I just said you have to grade yourself.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll grade myself.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So we immediately have to implement the bell curve because the entirety of the class didn't do great.
Why? Because just you? Grading on a curve? Okay, fine. Let's go.
So that gets me bumped up to at least a C. And then I got the first one, which was very difficult. And producer Taylor was saying, you're not going to get this one. So that bumps me up to a B.
No.
And I got the next 4 wrong. So I'm going to bump myself down. I'll give myself a C+ today.
D+.
C+.
D+.
C as in Corey, my middle name.
Or Curry.
Corey. All right. On to the Hall of Fame. Fred McGriff, Crime Dog. Check out the shirt.
It's
Crime
a
Dog
sick shirt.
is in the Hall of Fame. Fred McGriff has made it thanks to the contemporary ballot, the contemporary era, whatever they're calling it. He's in. Contemporary baseball ballot results were announced, and Fred McGriff made it unanimously. All of the votes went for him, 100%. He was the only one that got in. Now, questions. Who all is on this? What do you mean? What is this voting? Well, basically just the guys that, like, the big-time names that didn't get in from the normal committee, and now this is the contemporary era committee, and they're voting people in. Bonds is on this list. McGuire, Sosa, Schilling, Clemens, Fred McGriff, and Fred McGriff gets in with 100% of the vote. Congratulations to him. First off, before we talk about the rest of the ballot, congrats to him. I grew up a gigantic Atlanta Braves fan. When I'm from Richmond, 10 minutes from the AAA stadium, the Richmond Braves played there. The Braves were on TBS every single night. They were like the team. I lived and died by what happened with the Braves. Fred McGriff played there for 5 years, and good for him. And he was there at the winter meetings yesterday. There was a little bit of a press conference for him, and I just walked away. I love him. I love him. He is the most awesome, like, charismatic, like, you know, somebody asked him about getting there and, like, you know, how does it feel to finally get into the Hall of Fame? It had been a while. And he goes, you know what? Unanimous. It's a lovely thing. It's Crime Dog's time.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's the most charismatic guy. And it was really cool. And you could see the smile on his face. And he's so genuine. He had so many stories to tell. I love the guy. I was a big fan. And now I'm a much bigger fan. And forever, Fred McGriff is in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. So
congratulations.
good for him. 284, 493 career home runs, over 1,500 RBIs. The guy deserves to be in.
Yeah.
And now he is, thanks to this committee.
A couple other people on that ballot that I believe should also be in. But we know that because I got pretty heated about it last week, as did you.
Yeah,
Barry Bonds didn't crack 50%.
He didn't crack 25%. They're both right, but he didn't crack 25%.
People are just bitter.
I tweeted about this right after the vote. This is alarming to me that this committee votes and Barry Bonds doesn't get to 25% of the vote, and followed that up by saying Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter of all time and should be in the Hall of Fame.
He should.
We know what happened, obviously. And Dusty Baker was actually asked about this.
What'd he say?
Because Dusty, obviously, the Giants connection, and he said Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, and he said like some other names I'm forgetting.
Yep.
They saved baseball.
Yep.
They brought eyes back to baseball. They put eyes on baseball that have never watched baseball in their life. Yep. They made people fall in love with baseball that never loved it. And in his opinion, and this Bruce Bochy said this, I believe. Maybe it was, don't quote me on who said it.
Okay.
Bruce Bochy was also there, also Giants connection.
Okay.
Bruce Bochy said he's the greatest player I have ever seen in terms of Barry Bonds. Greatest player I have ever seen, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. In fact, you can't quote me. This was all Bruce Bochy. Okay. Got him confused. This was all Bochy. Then he said all those guys should be in because they saved baseball.
They did.
We both have been vocal about where we stand here.
Yeah.
I believe Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter of all time.
With you.
And that he should be in. I believe he should have gotten in originally. Yep. I know he took steroids. I know that. I hear you. I don't care. Like,
no.
The museum that is in Cooperstown is to showcase the greatest that have ever done it. And you can't have a museum of the greatest baseball players that have ever done it without having Barry Bonds in it. You just can't. And I am perfectly fine putting his plaque on the wall with an asterisk if you want, or put it in its own wing saying, hey, this is an era of baseball that doesn't necessarily have the brightest past, but it did happen. And you can't have Rob Manfred come out and acknowledge that somebody asked him about the home run chase with Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
And he said, it's Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Or it's Barry Bonds, and it's in the record book. So you can't, it doesn't make sense.
No.
He's in the record books. The record did happen. The home runs did happen. The batting average, the MVPs, they did happen. And then when it comes time to say, hey, was he one of the greatest baseball players of all time? Say no. You can't do it. It doesn't make sense.
That's the part that I can't wrap my head around, and that is comical to me. We still talk about his records. We still have them on the all-time list when players are chasing those records, okay? It's not like he has been completely removed from baseball. His name has not been removed. His records have not been removed. He is still there. He is still talked about. He is still atop of so many lists. Give the man the respect that he deserves for saving the game of baseball and being the face of baseball for as long as he was.
That's why I believe you made a good point there. If he is still acknowledged by baseball.
Yes.
And that's why I believe it's an entirely different question bringing Pete Rose into this. Because Pete Rose is currently banned from baseball. He can't be on these ballots because he's banned for life. So until Pete Rose is reinstated, no, we're not going to have the conversation of, oh, well, we can talk about Barry Bonds when Pete Rose gets in. One, Barry Bonds was better than Pete Rose.
Yep.
Two, Pete Rose is banned from baseball, and it's a moot point until he is unbanned from baseball. Barry Bonds is not. His records are everywhere at the very, very tippy top of the baseball spectrum, and he should be in the Hall of Fame, along with Fred McGriff. Crime dog. Period.
Agreed.
End of story. But congratulations to Fred McGriff. Really cool and really awesome. They have this committee now that voted him in, and he's the only one enshrined, and pumped up for him. And what an experience being at the winter meetings. I learned a lot. I saw a lot happened yesterday, and I had to bring it all to you. But my brother, he's a New York Met.
So now you're a new Met fan.
Wow.
Congrats.
That is just
You
wild.
picked up a new team.
He said yesterday, I'm finally in the National League and pitchers aren't hitting anymore. Not because he really wants to hit, because he wants to face a pitcher every ninth time through the lineup, and that really, really matters. And he doesn't get to do it anymore. He just missed it by like 2 years. But whatever, he is so pumped up to be a part of that organization, and maybe he can help them get over the hump. That is, they're right there on the cusp. They just need to figure out how to get there and then win when it matters the most in the playoffs. So Justin's a Met, deGrom's a Ranger, Trea Turner's a Philly. Big things happening. Where is Aaron Judge going? I don't know. It's a toss-up at this point.
I can't wait.
But that does it for this episode of Flippin Bats. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you subscribe. If you're listening, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. Hit that button, Apple, Spotify, wherever. And we're on all social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can watch every single episode as well on YouTube at Flippin Bats Pod for all of them. Thank you all for listening, and until next time, this has been another episode of Flippin Bats. Peace.